am in yours and you are in mine. I am in yours and you are in mine, and we're taking our life in our hands. The future will grow from the seeds that we sow today. It looks like a lot of good seeds are being planted today. Rise up, it's a new day. Good morning, sister. Good morning, brother. There's so much to do. And the first thing is to listen. To listen and to speak the truth. And we're taking our lives in our hands. I'm in yours. I am in yours. And you are in mine. And we're taking our lives in our hands. The future will grow from the seeds that we sow today. Stand up, it's our moment. We are the bridge now, reaching tomorrow that touches yesterday. And the question we must ask now, is this as true for my grandchildren's children as it is today? And we're taking our lives, we're taking our lives in our hands. I'm in yours. I am in yours, and you are in mine, and we're taking our lives in our hands. The future will grow. The future will grow from the seeds that we sow today. Life so incredibly strong, yet incredibly fragile. Sings through our hearts and the touch of our hands, in the cries of the children and the eyes of the old ones, in the ancient dark forests and the flight of a hawk, in the grace of the earth and the gift of our minds. It's the thread that weaves and dances and invisibly binds. Help me out. We're taking our lives in our hands. I am in yours and you are in mine, and we're taking our lives in our hands. The future will grow from the seeds that we sow today. Yes, we're taking our lives in our hands. I am in yours and you are in mine, and we're taking our lives in our hands. The future will grow from the seeds that we sow today. Sow the good seeds.
Thank you, Ellen. Wow.
Thank you.
Everybody move in, okay? We got room over here, you know, so I just heard an estimate. We have over 1,220 people. So that you can find out more about Montrose, County Indivisible. Tables over there. Okay, next we're going to hear from Meg O'Shaughnessy to sing us a song for us.
This is a song written by Melanie DeMore 8 years ago, close to Trump's first inauguration. And it can be called One Foot or Lead with Love. And you might be able to catch on to a little bit of chorus at some point. But it goes like this. We're gonna put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We're gonna put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Here comes a verse. Don't give up hope. And you can repeat that. It's like I say, you're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the drummer's falling asleep and lead with love. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. But here I am. Right next to you. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We're gonna put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
That was fantastic. Let's give her another round for Mary Shawn. Alrighty, resistors. What we're going to do now is have some presentations. We're going to keep them short, crisp, 5 to 7 minutes, but people that you're going to want to hear from and some of the stuff that's going on as if we don't know. And so the first one up is Lizzie DeCamillo. Oh, good. And so she's going to tell us about Medicaid and her family. Lizzie.
Hi. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of people here, so bear with me, I'm a little nervous. Okay. Oh, sure. I guess I'm a little taller than I thought. So, like a lot of you here, I'm affected by a lot of the things that are being targeted at the moment. And throughout my life, I have been. I grew up in Oh no.
There's too many people. Not too many. There's so many people.
There's a lot of people. Okay, I'll try. Okay. Whew. Okay. I grew up in poverty, and I did exactly what everybody said that we were supposed to do. I brought myself out of it. I got married young. I mean, I was 19 when I got married to my husband. And we did everything that, was on the agenda. We bought a house, we worked really hard, and right before our third anniversary, we found out that I was pregnant with our first baby. And my pregnancy was fine. I mean, I wasn't sick or anything. We did all of the tests that we were supposed to do. And I'm sorry, this is the Cliff Notes version, so hopefully this is short enough, but hopefully it's not too long. And around 28 weeks pregnant, I was carrying extra water, and the doctors decided that I needed to go get checked at the maternal fetal medicine specialist to get scanned for kidney problems with the baby. We found out there that she had a heart defect, and the heart defect that they thought that she had was associated with Down syndrome. So they wanted me to do another blood test that I had never heard of, which is a free cell DNA test. I'm sure it's more common now, but 11 years ago it was not. And when I was driving home from work one day, they called me and they told me, unfortunately, she tested positive for trisomy 18. And I didn't know what that meant. I was 22 years old. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, unfortunately, she will die before birth or shortly after. And I was driving still. And I said, okay, well, do we need to come in? And he said, well, if you want to. And I said, okay, well, do we need to do an amnio? Because that's the testing that I had heard of. And he said, well, if you want to. And just like that, everything changed in our world. And we decided to do the amnio, and at my baby shower, I had to tell people that my baby might die. And at about 34 weeks pregnant, the amnio came back positive for trisomy 18. And so we decided to go to Denver to have our baby, to give her the best chance that she had, because she was doing well otherwise. And the night before we were going to Denver, my water broke here in Montrose. And so my doctor, who came in his pajamas eating a snack, told me that he would not transfer me to Denver, and he would not perform an emergency C-section because he did not want to risk me for a baby that would die anyway. So I asked him to transfer me to St. Mary's, and it took 7 hours to get transferred. The first ambulance broke down, and we finally got there. She did end up needing an emergency C-section. And luckily the OB there was great, but that is where our luck ran out when it came to care for Sophia. We did not get any help with our 3-pound, 13.7 ounce baby at 35 weeks. She was not given oxygen, food, she was not put in the NICU. We were basically told she wasn't gonna make it through the weekend, and she wouldn't poop, she wouldn't be hungry, she wouldn't cry. She did. She made it through the weekend, she pooped. We took pictures. And we were told that we couldn't leave unless we signed a DNR and put her on hospice. So we did. And we took her home, and she kept fighting. And the people that were fighting with us were the hospice nurses, and we actually have her hospice nurse standing right in front of us. And we were fighting as long as she was fighting. And at 5 months old and 5 pounds, we finally got a doctor through the ER at St. Mary's to send her to Children's Hospital. And Children's told us that she wouldn't have made it another week if we hadn't got her there. She had a G-tube placed, and she was in and out of the hospital her first year because of being malnourished and being susceptible to illnesses because of her lungs being underdeveloped, being premature, and having an unrepaired heart. And so she was life flighted 4 times her first year. In case you were curious, life flights are $50,000 a piece. And her medical bills came out to be over $1 million before she turned a year old, and that is after her private insurance had paid out. We were lucky enough to live in Colorado, and we discovered the Parents as Providers program because if you couldn't guess, I couldn't go back to work like I planned. So I became her in-home care provider, and she also got a special waiver through Medicaid to help cover the costs that her private insurance does not cover, which is a lot. Her medical bills are thousands of dollars a month. She has her feeding supplies that are over $1,000 a month. She has epilepsy medications that come to over $1,000 a month. She has physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. She has specialists that are cardiology, neurology, orthopedics, special care. She has a ton of different specialists that she has to see every year. And they all come to thousands of dollars each visit. And if she loses her Medicaid, it would not only be catastrophic financially, but she wouldn't be able to survive, because we have discovered that a lot of these places do not take out-of-pocket payments. So even if we wanted to try to pay, which we wouldn't be able to afford, they wouldn't accept it. So we would lose her without this insurance. And we've almost lost her multiple times, and losing her due to not having insurance is just not something that I think that I would be able to survive. And we have been fighting with her since the day she was born, and I hope that we will not have to continue to fight for the rest of her life for her insurance. She is a real human being. She's not just a story. She is now going to be 11 in September. And she is smart, and she is funny, and she is sassy, and she is sweet, and she loves dolls and tutus and Bluey, and her favorite movie is Cruella, and she has changed the life of anybody that has ever met her. And we have spent the last over a decade slaying dragons with her, and if we have to slay another few dragons that are hoarding all of the gold in the land, I guess we're just gonna have to do that. So, thank you.
I value critical thinking. I value science. I value social equity. And I value our next generation. Schools are funded primarily by the states. And thank you very, very much for your property taxes and your state income tax. But about 10% of the funding for schools on the Western Slope comes from federal dollars. These are also your dollars to pay for things like special education, extra funds for low-income and rural schools, and my favorite, the National School Lunch Program. That's, of course, a program to provide money to feed children so that their brains and their bodies can develop and grow. When you're looking at the impact of the cuts the federal government is making already, such as Social Security, VA, Medicaid, and they're making these to the Western Slope, we have an impact already. Think of this. If you look at Mesa, Delta, Montrose, and Ouray counties combined, there's over $60 million of federal grants for schools at stake right now. Money that goes directly into our economies to provide salaries for educators, salaries for a lot of people. Did you know that Montrose County and Delta County, the largest employer in each county is the school district? But this money is also used to buy local products from local farmers and ranchers for school lunches. And we want to buy and serve local because it's good for our economy and it's good for the children. And that's money for Mr. Harold Sweetcorn in Olathe. That's money for Callaway Beef in Delta. Apples from the North Fork Valley. All of this money is at risk. All this money that helps our kids and employs our neighbors is at risk. They're already defunding the Department of Education. They're starting to make cuts to the local schools for Food for Schools program to the tune $660 million they've already cut nationwide. If they continue to cut funding, the mandate for us to educate our special needs students will be underfunded and unsustainable. We'll even have to make cuts for all the extras such as music, art, the FFA, the lunch programs, the yearbook, and yes, even football. Everything that makes schools special in Western Colorado. So I'm going to ask you to do something. I want to ask you to start making noise now. Let's not wait. Let's not wait. Let's not wait for them to announce the cuts. Start hounding your representative. Who's your representative? Jeff Hurd is your representative. Email him, call him, leave a message, sit on his doorstep. Tell him, we can't afford to defund education. We can't afford to defund the Western Slope. We need to work together to make our voices heard. Government is for the people and by the people, and we need to let them know we will not be quiet. So let's hear it. Hands off our kids' future. Hands off our kids' future. Hands off our kids' future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And I have lived in Montrose for 41 years.
We love this community in all its diversity and its complexity. I'm speaking today as an ally of our immigrant and refugee friends and neighbors who live and work in this community because I am very sad to say many do not feel safe or secure speaking for themselves. The Trump administration's immigration enforcement policies have already caused significant fear, anxiety, and harm here in Montrose and in communities across the nation. I want to begin by sharing a story. Rumesa Öztürk is a doctoral student from Turkey attending Tufts University on an F1 student visa. Her friends describe her as a gentle, compassionate, and cherished member of the campus community. And the president of the university has praised her doctoral research. Exercising her right to free speech under the U.S. Constitution, Rumesa participated in a demonstration expressing support for Palestinians. One day when she was walking home, she was detained by federal immigration authorities. They didn't provide Rumesa with any evidence, any explanation, violating her right to due process under the U.S. Constitution. And alleged without evidence that she supports Hamas. They put her on a plane the next day and they moved her to an immigration enforcement detention center in Louisiana. She later discovered that her student visa had been revoked, again without any opportunity to defend herself. Last I checked, the presumption of innocence is a fundamental principle in the U.S. legal system. What have we become when someone who is here legally, known to be a kind and compassionate person, first came to America on a Fulbright scholarship and speaks out for what she believes in, is whisked away by federal authorities on a whim? History teaches us that standing by silently as others are disappeared is a failed strategy, as the next person to be grabbed off the street by masked agents of the state might be you or me. Some of you may be unaware that the Department of Homeland Security has a new program that's going to kick in on April 11th. It's called the Alien Registration Program. This program requires undocumented immigrants to register with the U.S. government, which I imagine is a frightening prospect, or face potential criminal charges, detention, or even deportation. The administration has emphasized that this program aims to promote its mass deportation agenda. Under this program, all individuals 14 years of age and older must register, and parents are required to register their children. Those who register must carry their proof of registration with them at all times. This program is a sad reminder that we are repeating shameful events of the past. Let's focus a little bit on Colorado. At least 10 international students studying at universities right here in Colorado, half of whom are Middle Eastern, have had their visas revoked by the Department of Homeland Security. There are 10,300 international students enrolled in Colorado colleges across the state, and visas are being revoked without due process, violating the Constitution. Some of you may have heard of Jeanette Vigera, an immigrant woman who has lived in Denver for many years. She was detained by ICE on March 17th, and she's currently being held in a detention center in Aurora, Colorado. Her family reports that she is surviving on 3 slices of bread, a spoonful of jam, and an apple daily. This constitutes inhumane treatment for a mother who has been striving to remain united with her family for many years. Jeanette's story is just one of many. The good news is that Colorado has several laws on its books that provide protections for immigrants, although none supersede federal law. So, what can we do? I'm a community organizer, so I'm always about what can we do? No one is going to save us, and it is up to all of us to fix this by standing up and saying, this is not right. Just like we are today. Almost there. But not only that, we need to do something, and we may need to sacrifice a little bit. So, here are 3 suggestions. Stay informed about the Trump administration's harsh immigration policies. I know some of you may be discouraged, overwhelmed, and stressed. I know I have been at times. But right now, those of us with privilege have an even greater obligation to stay informed about how these policies are impacting our community members. And several helpful websites if you want to learn more. The ACLU of Colorado is a great resource. The National Immigration Law Center, and right here in Montrose, Colorado, the Hispanic Affairs Project. The second thing you can do is broaden your understanding of the rights that all individuals, regardless of their immigration status, have under the U.S. Constitution. Don't hesitate to pass that knowledge along to immigrants and refugees that you may know in your social circles, in your professional circles, so that they are more prepared to defend themselves. Simply asking someone, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Can open up a rich conversation. Almost there. And speaking of our constitutional rights, did you know that immigrants, including those who are undocumented, have certain rights under the U.S. Constitution, such as the right to due process, protection from unreasonable searches and seizures, and equal protection under the law? And perhaps most importantly, I've already mentioned this, we have a local grassroots organization right here in Montrose that is providing Know Your Rights trainings, immigration legal assistance, and other support to vulnerable immigrant and refugee families in our community. This important work requires resources, and we damn well don't want federal money for this work. So I encourage all of you to open up your heart and open up your wallet and give a generous donation to the Hispanic Affairs Project. And see me afterwards if you'd like their contact information, and I'd be happy to share it. In closing, our immigrant neighbors contribute so much to our community. They keep our economy strong, often doing jobs that many of us don't want to do. Our local agriculture, construction, and service sectors depend on immigrants and migrant workers. We deserve a community where everyone feels safe, where people feel like they can take their kids to school, engage in local government services, call 911 when they need help. If you're not outraged by the administration's immigration policies, you should be. I urge everyone here today to get informed, speak out, and take action in solidarity with others. To paraphrase the black abolitionist Frederick Douglass, our happiness cannot be purchased by the misery of others.